our picture, y'all.
We'll get it after.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Sergio for Practical Combat. This is a man that doesn't need an introduction. The big guy from the Street Beef, somebody that, in my opinion, have changed the world for the better. Thank you very much for your work. And I got a few questions. What gave you the idea to start Street Beef? I want to see your...
So I had a friend that was murdered. I had actually multiple friends murdered, but one friend in particular got gunned down on Christmas Eve in front of his child over something that could have been talked about or at worst fought about. Didn't need to be killed about. And it just made me say, man, we got to do better. If these guys got that big of an issue, let them duke it out, or let's try to mediate. So that's what really pushed me. I had several incidents where friends died, and it just told me there was a need for it.
Good. I see that you have inspired a lot of people all over the world to train, to fight. I've seen the videos of people losing weight. I'm telling you this because I do have a problem with my liver that makes me gain weight.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people in the Facebook forum talking and posting the pictures before and after. You have done an impact in, I could say, crime, sports. Where do you see Street Beef in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm hoping that we have more branches all over, so cities that I can't get to can still solve beefs. But I pick them very wisely because some guys are starting these for the wrong reasons. So I'm very picky on who I have start a branch. But the goal is to expand.
And I got a sports question now. Why boxing, and what would you recommend to somebody that want to start training?
As far as how to get better in boxing?
In boxing, and why do you choose to start in Street Beef boxing instead of like MMA? Because I know you do MMA. I've seen the MMA fights.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the beginning was mostly boxing.
So that's, when I originally started, I said I wanted all MMA because it was closer to a fist fight.
Okay.
But my first love was boxing. I boxed when I was a young man. Boxing saved my life. So for me, boxing had to be a part of it eventually. But we didn't add boxing until 8 years after we started.
Oh, then I got it backward. I thought you started with boxing and it was MMA.
No, we started with MMA first. There was no boxing allowed. And boxing is actually my first love. But I wanted it to be like a street fight.
And now the other question was in regards to how to get better in boxing. Of course, sparring, but how can a person start to train for boxing? What advice would you give them?
I mean, my first advice is start with the basics. Too many guys get into boxing and they want to learn pull, slip, counter, or some flashy 4-piece combo. Start with the basics: a jab, your 1, 2, 3, 4s. Keep it basic. Secondly is if you can afford a good coach, get a good coach. If you can't afford a good coach, try to hang around guys that know the sport a little bit. That's the best way to me to get better.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I said, it was a quick interview. I wanted to ask you those basic questions. It was a pleasure. I want to say, you guys know what I do is mostly Kung Fu and kickboxing. It's completely different, and you guys been asking for me to try with a boxer. This is actually, I think, my first time with pure boxing, guys, and I love it. It was different. I learned a lot. It was just a matter of adjustment, but it was really fun. I like it, brother.
You did great, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.